So this week, US30 has been really quite amazing for me. Usually I trade NAS, but this week US30 has really been giving us some real clean price action. And you know what you can kind of notice about US30 is that you can see here price is sweeping below this liquidity here and then pushing to the upside. You can see that price is coming down, sweeping below this low right here and then pushing to the upside. You can see that price once again is sweeping below this low and even this low here before it pushes to the upside again. So, you know, as of yesterday, I was looking in the charts for price to basically sweep this low. I think we were around, you know, this was the New York session. So essentially price was looking pretty much like this. Okay, it was looking exactly like this. Now, the first thing you should always look for in any kind of analysis is where is the money. So the money is here at this stage. Now, because of the nature in what price action was doing this week, we can see price dropping, pushing, price dropping, pushing, price dropping right here and pushing. So, you know, instead of looking for price to react in this area here and go higher, is there potential that we're going to drop possibly even to the imbalance, which is right here, and then go higher again? Because judging by what has been happening this week on US30, we've been taking liquidity sweeps and then pushing to the upside. So I was keen to see what was happening there. This liquidity sticks out like a sore thumb for me, and I am literally, you know, observing everything. So from the higher time frame, I can see, okay, now looking at 4-hour structure, we've got this 4-hour candle here, the last up candle before the down move. That is an institutional candle. So, you know, price is walking its way up. In terms of targets, I do see price potentially, you know, hitting this area here before potentially redistributing, sorry, to the downside. So what I'm looking to try and do is basically get price up to here, whether I buy it, whether I sell it when it gets there, whatever. You know, I also note we have got this liquidity here. We have got this imbalance which lays in here. So we've got plenty of targets to the upside for us to be excited about. So, you know, time and price is everything. And, you know, I'm in here during the New York session and I'd like to see something happen. And, you know, I'm literally just being observant to everything that happens. And at the moment it's kind of, you know, 2 o'clock. And, you know, I'm watching price action. And obviously the first thing I notice, you know, I think I got in literally up here at the 2:30 whistle. So, you know, smaller time frame. 30-second chart. Price was up here. And there was opportunity to sell. Price is pushing higher. And then what we can see, you know, is price, if I just go back to the 1 hour, price fills this imbalance and runs to the upside. So you can see the rejection which happened, you know, at this level here, wherever it is. Because essentially, price pushed up here, closed below this level here, and tapped into this imbalance right here. So a really nice entry. That's within your order block. Price has dropped to the downside. Now there is a cleaner entry, which I will show you. It's on NAS, I think it is. But essentially that there, you had your liquidity break. It didn't quite make it up to this candle, but we did break down. You can go onto a 30-second chart and you can potentially, you know, get a little bit of a better look from that there. And my entry was on a 30-second chart on another, I think it was NAS this was. But yeah, you can see prices dropping, smacked into that imbalance and then fell. And your target, if you're catching a trade like that, is the imbalance. And look at what price did. Price fell into the imbalance and then pressed higher. So, you know, as of now, what can we see? We can see price has dropped below this liquidity and pushed higher. So in the fashion that it's moving and what it's been doing this week, it's been dropping, pushing, dropping, pushing. So now, you know, bear in mind we've got 1 hour and a half until New York session. You know, do you want to see price clap below this low to then take price higher? So, you know, where we need to be kind of looking is in and around this 1 hour candle here. This is an institutional FU candle because it took liquidity, it filled in balance, and price has pushed the upside. So I would like to see something like that play out. If something like that can play out, that'd be perfect. And in the meantime, you know, I will be waiting for distribution at the highs to take potential sells into this area here, which is obviously very likely as well. So, you know, as of now on 15-minute, we are, you know, kind of pressing bullish. I would like to see price come a little bit lower before I definitely aim for sales. So, you know, this was the entry right here on NAS. And essentially, again, what we were looking to do. So, 15-minute time frame, just going to find it. I'm in the wrong bloody way, that's what I'm doing. Going the wrong way, hang on. So, when you correlate everything with, you know, US30, things like that, we had a big push to the upside here. We swept a lot of this liquidity. You see what happened here. Price has obviously come into this area right here. And if you look to the side, you can see you're in a previous area of where you'd like to see distribution. Look at it from a daily point of view. You know, we are playing around in that wick. Price could definitely still distribute at any point. And we are just about to kind of, you know, break above that weekly area as well. So literally all I saw yesterday was price pushing up. And we got very, very, very nice distribution above the highs. Now there's two entries you could have done. If I bring this back here, just so I don't have to go all the way back. My entry was literally on that 30-second border right there. So literally liquidity got swept, price pushed higher, it came down, we left in balance, we left this candle, I literally pressed sell right there. It was too quick for me to put this in the alert section in the community with the people that are paying for that. But essentially that there is a pinpoint accurate trade. I think we did have some traders in there actually get in this level, maybe on the 1 minute. But essentially that came out at about 10 to 1. I think I got out somewhere. It was about 10 to 1. It was around here somewhere. I got out. All I was doing was targeting, you know, this area of imbalance right here. And we got into it. You know, really, really nice. Really, really nice price action. You know, and looking at where it is as of now, you know, I would like to see price come down into this area here to eventually push higher. That's essentially what I'm looking to do. You know, see if price can come into this area here and push higher. And again, what it's going to have to do is sweep these lows, come in and push higher. You know, you always want to make sure you're getting liquidity sweeps. You know, don't be against taking sells in these areas here as well. We have come into this area here. We've literally reacted at this last candle. The last up candle before the down move. That is an FU candle, so sales are definitely likely. You know, target would be these lows here, this liquidity. So, you know, I do take my entries in the 1 minute, in the 30-second, in the 5-second, wherever I see these things happen. Typically, you know, anywhere between 15-minute to 30-second is, you know, where I'm looking to take entries and things like that. But yeah, we'll see what happens, you know, in the next hour or two. And yeah, there is these indices. I think S&P was very similar in, you know, in what we were looking for. We did have a lovely break of structure somewhere. So we did get the same entry here for indices as well. We did come down, we did break, we did sweep. This was a perfect entry. I don't know if you would have got it on the 30-second. Yeah, price comes in, you know, pushes high. It doesn't look as clean as NAS, but essentially, you know, it does look really, really good. So we can get rid of all that there. Go back to our 1 minute. And yeah, I mean, as of now, with the indices, with S&P, I would like to see price coming into this 1 hour candle as well, because this was the candle which swept all of this liquidity right here. And I would remind you guys, you know, if you are new, please subscribe, please follow this channel. Please join our Telegram group. And if you are interested in learning how to trade, you know, please get involved. You know, we are looking to keep things super simple. And yeah, hopefully I can help you, you know, with regards to getting trades that give you very, very high risk reward. So, you know, looking at pound USD as of now, if we just kind of break this down from the top down, I am looking you know, for price to, I mean, it looks like it's obviously going to carry on higher. Looking at where we are on the daily time frame, you know, we've potentially reacted in this area. We have created an awful lot of liquidity, so it's definitely risky if you're looking for sales because there's liquidity very close to it. We have, you know, kind of accumulated, and now we're starting to distribute. So within the 1 hour, it does look like we've started to sell off. But I mean, looking at this liquidity, which is resting all above here, there's just no way I'll be looking at taking sales with that sitting there, because that is just an extremely red flag moment. You know, I think what I'd rather do is take price higher when it comes into this area here somewhere, where we are currently in drawdown. So, you know, this area here would be kind of like my point of interest. And yeah, definitely like to see what happens if we can get in there to take price a little bit higher. Looking at gold. So we did alert a trade idea happening here. Okay, we were looking to take a trade here. Now it hit us in the lunchtime peak area. So for New York, it's all about time and price. If you're coming in from the UK, once it gets past 4 o'clock, guys, you really shouldn't be trading. If you're in, you know, New York, things like that, anything after sort of 10:30, 11 a.m, you really shouldn't be trading. Okay, because what we saw here was a liquidity sweep below these lows here. But what you could have done was wait for extra evidence and seeing if you can obviously get into some sort of trade. And you can see price was obviously coming down, and you can see what happened eventually, you know, making this low, higher low, lower low. You can see what price has done there. It's eventually started to accumulate to push higher. So, you know, potentially on an even smaller time frame, you could have got in within that area here. You know, we came in, made this low right here. So you can see that we made this low. We very soon close above. And then you could have got in somewhere in here. This could have been a perfectly good entry. You know, it would have been short term because we have obviously started to accumulate to come lower. You know, we have accumulated below these lows again. We're respecting this area here at the moment, and we've started to walk our way back up again. So, you know, gold's definitely showing a lot of manipulation at the moment. We are unable to break this 1 hour range. So before we take price any higher, the first thing we have to do is basically look to break above there. Okay, otherwise I'd be definitely assuming that sells is more likely in this area here, because you can just see it's ranging down. It's not looking to come down anytime soon. So essentially, you know, all you have to do when you don't find opportunities in the markets is just break down pairs. And it's all about understanding market structure and the way things happen, the way things move. You know, and top-down analysis is very, very important. You know, this has all happened for a reason. We've worked out why to do it and things like that. So, you know, I mean, I'm just going to pick a random pair, CADJPY, and all I'm going to do is basically break it down from a top-down analysis, how you should look at the charts and how you should approach price action. So I've gone completely random. I've picked out CADJPY. It's a very good pair, actually, CADJPY. If you're ever looking to trade something new and you've never done this before, this is a very honest pair, and it does give, you know, good trade opportunities. So what you always need to make sure you're doing is starting in the monthly time frame. Okay, you need to always make sure you're within the monthly area, and you can even go, you know, a couple of steps higher, looking at what price is done from a 12-month candle, and what price is done from a 3-month perspective, and what price is doing in a monthly perspective. You know, monthly is fine to start on, but you can also get a view of where we are on the 3-monthly basis. You can see the price is pushing higher. You can see we're currently sitting in this imbalance, which is a key area. This could be a reaction point. Looking at the monthly chart, again, price is pushed up very, very aggressively, and now it's coming down very aggressively, and we are giving ourselves a shorter reaction inside here. But this month has kind of been a bit unpredictable, but that's what you get with January. You can see that that's where the lowest price has gone to, up here, and that's the highest price has gone to, up here. So, you know, we are in this imbalance. I would rather take a judgment view on what is happening on a lower time frame before I make a decision whether we are bullish or bearish. But technically, we are bullish on a higher time frame. We did, you know, we did actually distribute to come lower, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to respect this level. We could be coming in to push higher, and overall the trend is actually pushing higher. This here, the last sort of 3 months have been bearish. You know, looking at the weekly, you can quite clearly see, you know, price was making a low, high, low, high, low, higher high, high low. We've made a lower high, so we've not broken above this area here, and then price has broken down again. We've now made a new low. So because we've made a new low, we need to, you know, the only issue is we haven't made a new high. Okay, so because we have not made a new high, that's obviously the high we're going to go with, and that's the low. But we've perforated through that low there, which means we can look for our last high, which is here. So we could see price pushing back up here anyway. Now, looking at the daily, you know, you can see that price has been extremely bearish. And targets are very, very important. You know, when I see what price is doing, you know, looking to the left, all I can see is this price action pushing us around in here. There's not really a reason for us to come much lower than what we are. You know, we have swept below this liquidity. We have got these targets down here to aim for. But in the nature of how aggressive we're pressing down, going in direction with the daily is absolutely your safest bet at this time. And the first target would literally be just making a new daily low. So, you know, the first thing I'd really kind of trying to be looked for here is identifying the trading range. So we can see prices trending down. We can see where we are. We know there's liquidity here. And it's very important to understand where liquidity is on every time frame. If you understand the liquidity aspect of it, you're off to the races, trust me. You also need to find out where candles are in drawdown. So that last up candle before price moved down, price never came back to mitigate into it. And price does need to come back to mitigate into it. Okay, price does need to come back to mitigate into it because that is where orders were left. Okay, that is where orders were left. So, you know, now price has been walking its way down. It came in, it respected the imbalance, pushed in, it respected this last up candle, it came down. We've had a reaction to this upside here. Price has made a new low and we are currently pushing higher. So we're kind of, you know, consolidating in this range at the moment. We've got this low and this high. And, you know, the trading range is, it's a hard one to kind of judge here. The trading range is really this low to this high up here. So that's your current trading range, and that's what you've kind of got to work with. So you're not really in an area where buys or sells are really anything at the moment, because if you were buying, you would have bought below the lows. Now, where price currently is, this is identifying our daily range. We can see the consolidation which happened within. We can see price has, you know, made a low, broke above, came back in, filled this imbalance, broke lower, now come back in, respected this high, as you can see right here. And then, you know, we're now breaking lower, we're now pushing higher. You know, in all honesty, this is not giving me any decent ideas. All I'm sort of seeing is price sweeping liquidity. You know, I'm seeing price sweep liquidity. You know, I'm not seeing anything I like the look of at the moment on here. You know, it's just in the middle of a range. We really need to see what's going to happen if we break above here or we break below here. We need to let price do its thing on this pair here. You know, looking at where we are on here again, you're just in this range. You know, all I can see is this very ugly type of range. It's nothing that I'd be interested in trading at this stage here. So what I'm going to do, and this is what I do with everything, guys, is abandon it. Okay, I abandon it and I look for another pair. So, you know, we've done our analysis. I can tick that off the list. I've done my analysis. You know, I can maybe look at EU. So let's look at EU, for example. Okay, looking at it from a higher time frame. Again, you have to ask yourself questions. Where is the money? Where is the liquidity resting? I mean, we know there's liquidity, you know, at previous lows. We know there's liquidity at previous highs. And this is your monthly range. So price is really coming from the bottom, pushing its way higher now. So on the monthly area, technically we've broken structure here, but that's not a very high resistance high. That's internal liquidity from a monthly perspective anyway. When we go down, that will look like a high that's been broken, which is really, really good. So high, low. Monthly, you would anticipate price, you know, looking to push higher. The only issue is because of how aggressively higher we're pushing, it is going to have to relax at some point. It can't sprint like this forever. It's going to have to, you know, relax, expand, relax, expand, relax, expand. One thing it cannot do, and it won't do, is just plow through, because it won't last. There's not enough money for it to do that. The reason price mitigates is because they have orders in drawdown. So at the moment, we've got buyers. It's going to come down to the sellers, where we're left in drawdown here. It's then going to buy. But what's happened is there were sellers here that need to be mitigated into. So price has to come back to buy, and then come back to mitigate, and then come back. And that's what they have to do. And it's what they have done for the last 100 years. It's what they will continue to do for the next 100 years. You know, it's not new information. No one created it. It's just the way things have worked in this industry. So when we go down to a weekly time frame, you know, what we can anticipate is looking at where we've accumulated. So with our accumulation here, we can see price has broke below that low and pushed above. So we've actually got ourselves a weekly break of structure. Now, what did happen is price came into this imbalance, filled in that imbalance with that wick there, and then pressed high. So there's no reason really for price to come any lower. So as far as the weekly goes, I'm going to identify where the money is, or was. It was there. We still know where our, you know, our trading range is from here to here. And this trend line that you see right here is creating so much liquidity. So much liquidity right there. That there is a trend line. Okay, and if you are new, by the way, guys, I would definitely recommend joining our Telegram group. Definitely, you know, come in. The link is in the bio. It's a free Telegram group. And if you are, you know, you want to follow this page, please do. Please subscribe. You know, I'm all about keeping things super simple. So, yeah, before we go, I just wanted to give you a little bit of advertisement. You know, get yourself inside that Telegram group if you want to learn these concepts of trading. Okay, we keep things super, super simple. And, you know, what we look to try and do is make things, you know, very accessible to everyone. And please give this account a follow if you haven't already, or subscribe. So anyway, moving on onto the pairs. So we're looking for price to come into this area here and then push. We've seen we've done that. Now, what we can do, we're ready to go down to the daily because we've identified the liquidity. We've identified where we are on the weekly. We're bullish. Okay, now what I can do is essentially, you know, see where we are on the daily. So this is the imbalance we filled. You can see the daily in what it's doing. It's walking its way up. And this is what I mean, guys. You know, price doesn't just expand to the upside. Price has to walk its way up. This is the cycle we do. This is price doing it. And you can see we created this liquidity. Price broke below and then carried on. And then it's now looking like it's doing the same thing. So, you know, as of now, you're very, very high. But, you know, we need to be looking at what's going on. You know, in terms of your daily range, you know, that was the old range. We didn't actually come back down and do anything with it. But we did sweep below this low here. And then we pressed higher. In terms of where there's a candle in drawdown, right here. That's your last down candle before the up move. However, price has expanded to the upside here, as you can see. So, you know, price is really going for it. And that's fine. You know, we can accept that. We can live with that because we're going to go on to a 4-hour time frame now. And we're just going to see if anything happens. So, you know, looking at what's happening here, the only thing that you have to be wary of if you're a high time frame trader is all this liquidity that's being built up right here. But that doesn't have to be of worry to you now because price is still pushing higher. You know, you can see here, price has pushed higher and now it's coming low and then it's pushed higher and then it's coming lower. You can see we've come in and swept these lows and then pushed higher. You can see we've swept some of these lows and then pushed higher. Until very recently, we've actually started to distribute. So, you know, what I can see here is price is distributing. So it looks like we could potentially come low. And then as price came in, this was all in the Asian session last night. We came back into this candle here, which is the last previous high. And we've actually started selling off again. And then if you got in during the London session today, this would have been a really good opportunity to sell. Because essentially that there is now your point of interest. This last up candle before the down move could have been your point of interest. And you could have been looking for opportunities in here. So now we can look at what the 15 minutes doing. You can see, you know, we came in, we broke, we never came back up. 5 minute has broke, never came back up. So, you know, as far as opportunities go, there wasn't really many. You know, there was 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock today. We looked like we had some good opportunities. The 2 minute area, again, you know, we had definitely nice areas to get into, but it would have been about being very, very patient. So I think the best opportunity I can see here is this one here, selling at this area here. But, you know, nonetheless, what is price doing now? We're looking to see where we can get in right now, aren't we? So what I can identify here is that the 1 hour is respecting this area here. So I'm going to want to wait. I need to wait to see if we get... I'm just going to delete that to keep it simple. I want to wait now, and I want to see if price is going to basically give us a break of structure. If we get a break of structure, I've got a template here that says to wait. If we've got a break of structure, then I will definitely be looking for price to come back. You know, I'd like to see essentially, you know, break, come back to this candle, and then sell off again. So that would be an opportunity I'll be looking at in here. You know, I can identify that areas in drawdown. You know, we've got loads and loads of liquidity to target. Loads of liquidity to target. And, you know, sales could definitely and potentially make sense. But at the same time, if we start pushing from this area, you know, the only thing I'm going to do is adjust my areas. You know, if we suddenly break higher, you know, maybe what we're going to do is come low, fill in some of this liquidity, and then start pushing higher. If we do that, then all I'm going to do is wait for a break and get on the low. You know, it's all about being patient. And if you're patient in this game, you will make it. But, you know, there are opportunities on here that are just endless. So it's really, really interesting. It's really, really interesting, guys. But yeah, so look, we've broken down a couple of pairs. I've shown you a couple of areas I like. We've gone over indices, we've gone over euro, we've done CADJPY. This is going to go on yeah, on YouTube for you to use. You know, I'll upload this now, and yeah, if you've got any questions, please let me know, guys.